Good afternoon, everyone. The Sacramento City Council will please come to order. Would the clerk call the roll, please, so we might establish a quorum?
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Ashby.
Here.
Councilmember Laloe.
Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chenier.
Here.
Councilmember Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
I am present.
Councilmember Vang.
Here.
And Mayor Steinberg.
I am here. Let us begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I will lead us today. Please rise. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Welcome to my colleagues, the city staff, and the members of the public to this very, very important meeting. Today is a workshop and a continuation of what we began last week with Councilmember Valenzuela's presentation on her ideas for siting of the various homeless-related facilities, including Safe Ground in her district and District 4. Tonight, we are going to hear presentations from two of our other colleagues, Councilmember Mai Vang from District 8 and Councilmember Sean Laloe from District 2. And just a reminder for the public who may be turning in for the first time, what the idea here is. And this is a unique approach. And, you know, we're having to show flexibility along the way. But the idea is this. The council members present their master siting plan for their districts for everything that is under the category of beds, roofs, and spaces that we will compile, and my team, Julia Burrows, is on point here, but we will work with the city manager and with all of you to compile essentially your list of sites. We will put them in one resolution, and then in, I hope, mid-June, depending on how much time it takes from the council presentations to compiling the resolution, we will take one vote, and that vote will be to adopt a master siting plan for the city. Once we have adopted that siting plan, then our work will not be easier, but a little bit easier, because we'll then be able to identify appropriate programs, program providers, and resources, of which there are significant resources, to the highest priority sites. And thus be able to get to higher capacity than we ever have before, to the thousands. And by the way, inclusive of the plan are some of the sites that are already planned, including some of the shelters. So this is an idea that puts the council members in the driver's seat, puts the community in the driver's seat, but allows us to adopt a comprehensive siting plan, recognizing that siting is our biggest problem. It isn't money, it's siting. And if we can break through that together in this way, we will be primed to partner with our county and with our nonprofit communities and our providers and make a tangible and visible difference for thousands. With that, I'm going to first turn it over to Councilmember Mai Vang, District 8, who's first item 1, and then we'll turn it over to Councilmember Laloe. I want to thank you ahead of time for all your hard work. I know all the outreach you have done in your community. I know because you invited me to be a part of a couple of them, and we're all really looking forward to hearing your presentation tonight.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well and had a restful weekend. Happy Tuesday. Before I begin District 8's presentation, I think it's really important for all of us to really remind all of ourselves why we continue to do this work. In the spirit of community and also following Councilwoman Valenzuela's powerful presentation from last week, I want to take this moment really to begin District 8's presentation by centering those most impacted by homelessness. Before I begin my presentation, I actually want to take this moment to introduce Miss Olinda Self, who came through our Meadowview Navigation Women's Shelter. I met Miss Self through Cheyenne, who is our program manager at the shelter, and Miss Self has an incredible, powerful story, and I wanted to give this opportunity for her to introduce herself and share her story. I believe she's also on Zoom with us at this moment as well, and I would like to give her the floor, Mayor.
Of course.
Miss Self,
Welcome.
you're on.
So,
Hi, everyone. Thank you for allowing me another opportunity to speak and give my testimony. I really appreciate it. I have a story, and it began maybe about 4 years ago when I lost my own place due to income and changes in life, and I began to move from place to place. Never in my deepest moments of thoughts or feelings would I ever thought I would be in that position. Just like many of us, we never know what the future holds. But when you start making choices that are not going to bring you a positive outcome, it wakes you up. So my story is, after living from place to place and trying to stay strong, trying to stay healthy, and throughout that time span, I tried to work, bring in income. Then as time went on, pandemic came, no longer working because of the hours shortened, not enough. I worked at a preschool, not enough children coming in to keep me employed. So up until that time prior, I was constantly living from place to place, just trying to survive, just trying to stay mentally healthy. And it was a hard journey. But by the grace of God, I found this place, Meadowview Navigation. Sorry.
now take your time. We really
I
want to
went
hear
through a
your story.
program. Thank you. I went through a program. I found out about a program that was actually offered through Kaiser. And the person I spoke with, Patrick Connor, was such a helpful person. He introduced me to the shelter. One day, it was just so much perfect timing because I had came to the end of my rope where it's like, God, I don't want to stay with nobody else. I don't want to live with nobody else. I want my own place. So the door opened for me to come to this place. And once I came, I felt so relieved, so much release, mentally, physically. I was able to rest. I was able to eat. I was able to take showers. Doors were just open with towels, whatever we needed, the essentials of, soap, toothpaste, whatever we needed. And the staff, oh my God, that made a difference. The people working there, that you can see the sincerity of wanting to help you change your situation. With that open door, with them saying, Miss Olinda, we want to get you in a place within so many days. We're trying, let us know what you expect. I expected to, just temporarily be in a shelter and didn't know what the next move was going to be. But then I start hearing they have meetings every Tuesday for housing. They had personal one-on-one meetings. They had even so much protection for the COVID-19. We wore our masks on a daily basis. They really brought us out of situations that could have been a very death row, maybe outcome for some. Some people had a lot of different things going on. I personally had things going on mentally, just, just stressed out, worried about, okay, I don't want to be living on the streets any longer, dealing with other people and their atmosphere. I want my own place. So we had meetings, and then one day, my staff caseworker called me in her office and said, "Hey, I think we found a place for you." Now I had shared with her, I said, "Okay, I would like to be in my own place because I'm going to be having a surgery coming up, and who wants to? You kind of want your own privacy after coming off the hospital, whatever the case might be." And I said, "Okay." I let her know. She said, "When is your birthday?" They already had all my information. I reminded her my birthday is January 31st. By February 2nd, they had me going to the place that had allowed me to become a tenant. And I went through the process. Before the end of mid-February, I was in my own place. And I'm still like, I'm still in my head like, I actually have my own residence. I actually have my own place. And just the grace of God, I call them angels, whoever decided to open that shelter, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. And there's a lot of women there that appreciate you all. They don't know that how big of a part you all play. But when I get the opportunity and they're listening to me or have a chance, I'm going to let them know what an awesome council member we have, awesome mayor, and those that work with him and those that are in the staff. I always said they are so respectful. When I worked with the ones that were at the shelter, they were so respectful. They were so concerned. "How are you doing, Miss Olinda? Hang in there, Miss Olinda. It's going to happen, Miss Olinda." And I finally started soaking it in. I think it's going to happen. And finally it did. We have to look, I had to stay positive. We have to recognize that there is help out there, but there are steps that I realized I had to make. I had to be consistent. I had to obey the rules, be in at a certain time. I had to make sure. I just love, even though I had to deal with different atmosphere and stuff, it gets a little different when you're around people that have, different things going on. But I began to say, you know what? I'm here for a reason. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to point my finger and say, "Oh, look what she's going through. I didn't have to deal with that." That's none of my concern. My concern was saying something positive to help that person realize there is a better life waiting for them, but they have to make a choice. And that's what I did. I made that choice to come to the shelter because I refused. I didn't want to deal with any more homelessness, any more situations dealing with my struggles. And I'm telling you, since the shelter has opened, it has been such a blessing to me. And I'm trying to share with others. There is hope. There's a reason why this shelter opened. It's the reason why you have another second chance, another chance to get your life straight. And I was given that opportunity. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Olinda. That was so awesome and so powerful. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. I see the council member putting emoji hearts and Councilmember Jennings clapping, and Councilmember Hashby is sending hearts with her hands. You are loved, and it's just so inspiring. We do this work because of folks like you, and I just want to say thank you. You are one of many success stories that we hope to come out from the Mediview Navigation Center. Homelessness is the spectrum. It's women, it's children, it's our students. And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story. And it was so powerful. And thank you so much for just being here today virtually to share space with all of us. So I'm just sending you lots of love and thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda, really, for inspiring us, reminding us that sometimes the painful decisions that we make up here, controversial decisions, actually lead to stories like yours.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Olinda. So before we begin, I just want to say, as you know, I think when I heard Ms. Olinda said, thank you so much to the council, to folks who opened the shelter. I know I wasn't a council member when the vote was decided, but I was in support of the shelter because I know that doing nothing is not an option. And I know that there was a lot of hesitancy from the community, but I truly believe that when you have authentic community engagement, when you have good neighborhood policies in place, and you keep the commitment focus on caring and protecting everyone in the community, a shelter and hope and housing is very possible in our city and in our community. So with that, we'll just jump right into the presentation. Again, Ms. Olinda, thank you so much for sharing your powerful story, one of many stories in the city of Sacramento. Ryan, would you be able to pull up the slide? Awesome. Okay, so, next slide. So this is my cover page. So just really quick, because I like to have an outline so y'all know where I'm going. What I'm going to do first is kind of let y'all know. I know where is District 8, just for those of my colleagues and folks watching that's not sure where District 8 is. Definitely want to share a little bit about our district. Then I'm going to talk about our District 8 guiding principles, conversations that we have had, themes that have come out from our community meetings, listening sessions of what our community would like to see. And then I'm going to share a little bit about our meetings and listening session that has happened with our unhoused neighbors, with advocates on the ground, with neighborhood association. Then next, I will discuss some proposed projects and housing developments and site in District 8. I would also then share some additional initiatives and then next steps. Next slide. So where is District 8? This is District 8, the map of District 8. And I just want to say I am so proud to represent a community where I was born, where I grew up in, and now have the honor of representing. I represent Council District 8. As you all know, it is the southern part of the city, and it includes neighborhoods such as Meadowview, Corbilla Park, Detroit, Pollock Ranch, Parkway, Valley High, and North Laguna Creek. Next slide. Just really quick on some demographics of District 8, our community is incredibly diverse with 31% Latino, 27 to 30% Asian American Pacific Islander, followed by African American at 22% and then white. We also have a very, very young community as well, and our median income household is around 48,000. I do want to share that, many of our families do live in poverty, with about 40% of households actually making less than $45,000 a year. And I thought it was just really important to make sure that I share the demographics of our district. Next slide. Next slide. Thanks, Ryan. So before we begin before I share some of our proposed sites and solutions and what District 8 is currently doing now, it's really important to put this in context, right? Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela is truly the epicenter of populations, individuals who are unhoused. But I want to share that in our district, it's not just in District 4, it is throughout our city. And it was really important for me to share this map of the homeless camps calls that we've received in our district. As you can see, it is spread out through our district. And so homelessness exists now. Unhoused neighbors live in our communities now. And so I wanted to make sure to share this map that it impacts everyone and is absolutely a priority for me and a city as a whole. So I wanted to make sure that I share that. So you can see all of the kind of sparse and dense encampments that are spread out through our district. Next slide. As Councilwoman Valenzuela shared in her presentation, doing nothing is not an option, and I absolutely agree with her. I just also really want to share that I think oftentimes that it is overlooked that Black and Indigenous communities are significantly overrepresented in unsheltered homeless population, and this is particularly the case for unsheltered youth and families. I know the last time count was in 2019, and that's actually a photo right there from NPR when they did the last time count. I just also wanted to share a stat from them because I know that we haven't had a chance to do a next time count given the pandemic, but when they did that study, about 12% were actually children. 8% were transition age youth, ages 18 and 24, and there was increasing population of families that were being homeless, that were becoming unhoused. And so it was really important for me just to share this slide as well. I also wanted just to share really briefly before we go into the proposal is that, oftentimes folks would mention that, the unhoused folks that we have here in Sacramento is not from Sacramento. And just a friendly reminder that 93% of folks during that point in time count identify as long-term residents of Sacramento or originally from Sacramento. Next slide. Over the past few months, I've also have had the opportunity to meet with unhoused community members, advocates on the ground to listen and really to learn as they are the ones leading the way and really providing me insight on making sure that we do this collectively and that we do this in a way that really protects our community and our unhoused neighbors. I just want to share some of them and give them a shout out because I don't think no elected or anyone can do this alone. The folks that I've been working with are folks like Volunteers for America, South Sac Heart. I want to give a shout out to Fatima, Sacramento Steps Forward, Loaves and Fishes, Always Knocking, and so many more that's not on this list that we've been working with. Next slide. I also just wanted to share that I've also conducted, my team and I, Team Heart and Hustle, have also conducted several meetings. And as we move forward, it's really important for me to be able to provide ample opportunities for community engagement and representation and perspective of all viewpoints. I know that not everyone is going to agree with me, and that's okay, but it's so important to make sure to hold space for our community, as that is very important. So I just wanted to share some of the items that we have done in terms of outreach. We've held listening sessions with our unhoused neighbors. So for example, the mayor actually joined me when we held a listening session with the women at the Navigation Center. I've also been out at the encampment speaking with members of the community as well. I wanted to share that, in a little bit, I'm going to share some potential sites that I've also been out there walking neighborhoods and sharing with folks, walking, for example, with Miss Jackie Rose and Miss Sequita Thompson about potential development happening in our community. So I wanted to share that as well. We've also done some virtual meetings with community, neighborhood leaders, advocates on the ground. I've also done site visits with service provider and advocates in District 8, everyone from like Waking the Village that does incredible work, which I'm going to share in a little moment, to Loaves and Fishes, and so many others. And then I also want to share that the work is not done because this is just a draft plan, but there are more community meetings that is happening in May to really further discuss and finalize sites for our district. Next slide. I wanted to also share a word cloud. I gather all the notes from the listening session, the virtual meetings, all the one-on-ones. And this is kind of some of the main themes that popped up in the word cloud. I just thought that it was a really cool visual, wanted to share with all of you, right? You see housing, prevention, trauma, youth services, data, right? So making sure we're data driven were some of the major themes that came from our meetings and our listening sessions. Next slide. So these were the 5 kind of principles that we heard from our community meetings over and over again, and I'm going to go through each one, but really one is a collaborative partnership with city, county, service provider, community-based organization, faith-based orgs, businesses, and our neighborhood association, and also most importantly, making sure that our unhoused neighbors are at the table. The other piece is making sure we invest in prevention and services, making sure we have solid case management. That's really critical, right? We can provide shelter, but if there's not that critical service, we can't get folks out of just the shelter. We have to make sure there's that continuum. So services and prevention was really key, and we heard that loud and clear from our community meetings. The other piece is a good neighborhood policies, and I'm going to go through a little bit as well, share a little bit about the neighborhood policies that we have had in place. This is something the community has shared with me over and over again, no matter what the housing or shelter option is, whether it's a navigation center, whether it's safe ground, whether it's tiny homes, whether it's a more affordable housing, whatever the option is, having a good neighborhood policy is absolutely critical for community trust and buy-in. The fourth one is that it must be data driven. I'm really excited that Lisa and the team is really making sure that there is a central location, how everyone can come together to make sure we have a data-driven solution, and making sure that the data-driven solution really is supporting the most vulnerable. And the last piece that I've heard over and over again from community members and neighborhood activists is that there's got to be equitable investment, right? And so I'm going to go into each of these principles one by one. Next slide. So I think the collaboration piece is really key. I don't think there's much more to elaborate, right? I mean, we just got to make sure that all local stakeholders are working on the issue together. I think that was also one of the themes that we heard loud and clear from my colleague, Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela as well, and making sure that we're bringing them to the table, the same table that we're sitting at and making sure we actually keep them there. That's the thing, not just doing these one-on-one, but making sure they're really truly part of the process. And a lot of these advocates include our activists, our unhoused neighbors, service providers, CBOs, our local businesses, our neighborhood association, and very importantly, our county partners, right? I have them last and I'm going to mention them, but it's going to be critical to make sure that they are also truly part of the process. It is a collective responsibility, not just on the city. We will do our part, but every jurisdiction should step up to the plate to make sure that we have a regional approach. Next slide. Good neighbor policy is also one of the major guiding principles and theme. It's really important that we have a good neighborhood policy in place to ensure trust and accountability. SHRA and MetaView actually got a template already. So we already have some frameworks. For example, the MetaView Navigation Shelter has an MOU with our neighborhood association. They were really critical in creating that framework. Some of these include center operations, right? Who's responsible for the daily operations, who's permitted to enter and leave the facility. This also includes like navigation, on-site staffing and case management, cleanliness and also mitigation of noise, access to showers and bathrooms, on-site security for the center, the navigation center and surrounding areas. But most importantly, this key piece is that there needs to be that community coordination and communication with the neighborhood. There's actually regular meetings that is hosted for updates, and that is part of the good neighbor policy. And this is something that we hope to see for future sites and for all sites in the city of Sacramento. It's going to be really important. If you really want neighborhood association in our communities to be part of the process, I think having a good neighborhood policy is key, or at least that's what I've heard from our community on the ground. Next slide. Oh, this is just the summary. It's about 3 or 4 pages, but I wanted to share just a summary of our good neighborhood, one sample of the good neighbor policy. And again, actually, staff actually has the ability to update this agreement with the community as needed. So I just want you to know it's an agreement, but it can also be adjusted. If there are things that we're missing, that maybe we had blind spots during our stakeholder meeting, right? It's important to make sure we can always come back and readjust it. So that's really key. Next slide. So investment in prevention and services, right? This is really critical. Prevention is really about moving upstream to work with youth, individuals, and families before they become homeless. And so I've heard loud and clear from the community, Councilmember Vang, we're going to do the intervention, but are you going to focus on prevention? Are you going to focus on wraparound services and case management? That's got to be a must. And so we have to do that because we have to help folks, unhoused members, really navigate a complex system of services and housing interventions so that they can be on a journey to stability. That's really key. We heard that loud and clear, on-site services at all locations. And so I am bringing this number 4th principle back on this stage to share that prevention and services is critical, and it has to be part of our plan. Next slide. Another theme that we heard from community folks is that everything has to be really data driven and it has to support our most vulnerable. So basically, we really have to let the data be as dynamic as the people that leads the way on the ground. The plan has to be data driven, really to assist with coordinated entry approaches to reduce. And our goal here is to eliminate homelessness, right? But we have to make sure that we have data to really inform how we move forward. So comprehensive, real time, by name, data driven housing investment for those most vulnerable. And I think using data to strategically allocate resources is going to be absolutely critical. And I know the mayor said there's dollars coming down, which is great, but those dollars is not just always going to keep coming. We have to be impactful with how we spend those dollars. And so we need to target housing and resources for the greatest possible reduction in homelessness. That's what I heard loud and clear from the community, and it's one of our pillars. Next slide. The last theme that I heard over and over again from community member is making sure that we have equitable investment. Basically what I've heard directly is that, there's got to be equitable investment towards siting, towards operation and solution throughout the city, not just in one district, but in all districts. That's going to be really important. So setting system related goals to work and to remedy those inequities is really important. And again, when we also need to consider really an equitable impact of homelessness on the local population, we got to invest and support and fund local resources. And so I heard loud and clear from community that this has to be equitable and wanted to make sure to uplift that. Next slide. All right, so we're going to jump right in. Recent and pending sites and for shelter and housing. So as I shared earlier, doing nothing right now is not an option. You've seen the map of our district and also encampments in our district. And I just want to share that our team has hit the ground running and has been meeting with community members on site, as I've shared earlier, to really figure out how we can build more housing, provide shelter options. And I want to emphasize that District 8, our district, has and will continue to always step up to love and care for our community. For example, like the shelter, I will say, right, it could have been in another district, but it was in District 8. And our community will continue to step up. And so what I want to share is that what I'm going to do in the next couple of slides, really share some of our recently opened shelter housing and some pending sites. We're going to go a little bit over the Meadowview Navigation Center, which I consider as one of our sites, because right now we're only sheltering 50 and we're hoping to expand that to 100 given the pandemic. I also want to share a project that just basically recently opened on La Mancha regarding Wood Spring Suites, where there was a hotel conversion and it's still under rehabilitation. So we're working on that. I'm also going to be sharing some pending sites regarding Meadowview Village and Coral Gables and a senior housing on Florin. Next slide. So just a little bit about the Navigation Center. I think you all heard from Ms. Olinda Self as well. Given the pandemic, the center is currently sheltering 50, and we're really hoping to expand the capacity at this site at 100. At full capacity, it does provide 100 beds to unsheltered women aged 18 and over. Currently, right now, Volunteers of America really provides the daily on-site services. They're doing an incredible job. And as I shared earlier, the shelter does have a good neighborhood policy with the Meadowview Neighborhood Association. And just also wanted to share, Ryan, next slide, please. Also just wanted to share as well that the entry for the women's shelter is really through a closed referral process as well. Next slide. Here's another site that our team has been working on. That right there is a photo of me and Miss Sequita Thompson. That's Stephon Clark's grandmother. My staff, hi, Ms. Cervantes, and Miss Jackie Rose. Meadowview Village, as you know, housing is desperately needed, especially for our unhoused veterans and low-income families. So our team has actually been working very closely with the community to really discuss this initiative at 2875 Meadowview Road. My staff went out to flyer for this one time, and then we also flyered in the neighborhood. I walked that neighborhood to let them know regarding our community meeting to discuss the site. Next slide. So this site in particular, it is housing, wraparound on-site services housing for our unhoused veterans and families. And I want to share that the on-site folks that we have approached as a community is Step Up, but also Rose Family Creative Empowerment. It was really important for us to have someone that was a local anchor that could really provide referrals that are working with our unhoused folks in the community. Right now, it is still in its beginning stages. I am still having conversations with the community. The site will provide about 125 tiny homes designs. I call them studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments through Vive Innovation. But it is a site that we're working on. And I know that right now the community is really trying to learn more. There is some, hesitancy from the community. And so we've been doing a lot of groundwork and really letting folks know as well that this is in its beginning stages. We are going to be crafting this plan together. And I want to make sure that as we're building, that we bring the community along with us. And so I wanted to share that site. Next slide. Another site that we're working on in South Sacramento is also a development for low-income families and formerly unhoused household in Meadowview area. There is this partially developed, but currently there's this vacant land that you see right there as well. Ryan, can you move to the next slide real quick so folks can see? There you go. Where we plan to build some housing for low-income families and formerly homeless households. When fully constructed, we're expecting to have about 228 residents at this site. And so this is also pending as well. This is what we're thinking. We got to make sure we expand some more affordable housing in the district. Next slide. I also just want to share before I go over these additional initiatives that we're pushing as well is that back to Coral Gables. Ryan, can you go back to the next slide real quick? I also just want to share that it was really important. We heard from the community while this location will be housing unhoused formerly unhoused folks and low-income families, they wanted to make sure that we had playgrounds and community building facilities on site. And so wanted to share that as well. Go ahead, Ryan, next slide. And these are the additional initiatives that we will also be working on. I'm going to be going through each one of these as well that would be a good fit for our district from what I've heard on the ground from advocates in our community. One is that we really want to expand scatter site housing, in particular transitional housing for unhoused youth and families. I personally would like us to identify about 10 scatter sites in the district. We have about 3 sites right now by Sacramento Self-Help and also Waking the Village. And I think that there are more opportunities to do more. And I'm going to explain a little bit why. The other piece is I also definitely want to expand our Motel City conversion, our Motel Voucher program. We have a pending site right now that I'm going to be having conversations with owners as well. I want to make sure that we expand this. Like, it shouldn't just be on D2. We all need to be doing this in our district if we have a hotel or a motel in our district. And the last piece, I think, that is really important is basically safe ground with 24/7 services. We're gonna be having further vetting in community with our community in May. But I am committed to this. As you saw the encampment site in District 8, we have to make sure that there is a safe place for our unhoused neighbors to go to. So the next thing is I'm going to go through each of these and what I've heard from the community and elaborate a little bit more. Next slide. So I'm sharing this again because the next couple of slides are really talking about obviously, I've shared some sites that we are working on right now, but additional sites and additional solutions that we want to see in District 8. And I'm putting back this word cloud again, because as we continue to do this work, I think about the themes that come up. And a lot of it, what I heard during these meetings were really about housing for our youth, our families, our women and children. And what I've heard clearly from community members and advocates on the ground is that we really need more transitional housing for our family. And so one thing that I'm really advocating for, Mayor, is really to expand scatter site and transitional housing sites throughout our city. Next slide. So I want to share, right now in the district, we have 3 sites, homes that some neighbors wouldn't even notice. And Waking the Village actually works with unhoused youth and homeless families. I mean, they've been in this for a very, very, very long time. I think 15 to 17 years. And they provide on-site case management and support. So when folks exit, they're really prepared to be leaders in their own lives and really leaders in their children's life. I've learned so much from our advocates on the ground. I am not the expert, but they are educating me as I'm in these listening sessions. And what I've learned, and as I'm watching the continuum from folks from encampments to shelter to transitional to permanent housing, is that transitional housing really fills that territory between shelter, safe ground, and permanent housing by really lowering caseloads, right? And providing that daily connection to wraparound services. And that's really important. I think advocates have also shared with me that I'm learning is that, it may even cost more for rapid rehousing, right? Rapid rehousing costs more than transitional housing. And oftentimes those impact you don't really see with what you see with transitional housing. And so transitional housing really ensures that we have a flow in our system. The other piece is that, it also really allows time for healing and steps in finding permanent housing and a job. It also ensures that individuals have the stability and ensures healthy development that encourages growth. And it's really the next kind of like logic step from shelter and safe ground. And so I wanted to share that. Next slide. Without transitional housing, I want to share that we could do shelter, but if we don't have this continuum, we won't be successful, right? There could be a shelter backlog. You have youth and families and individuals that exit back to homelessness. Individuals lose trust in system and the cycle repeats itself. And so I heard that loud and clear from community members. And so as we're talking about safe ground, as we're talking about all of these options, the transitional housing is absolutely important in our citywide plan. Next slide. Outcomes are also really important, and I want to share some of these really amazing stats as well from programs that are happening currently in my district now. Some of the stats is that 93% of the graduates that actually come into their transitional housing no longer experience homelessness after 5 years when they exit. 95% of children and adults are connected to primary care doctor, and that over 80% of their clients are engaged in wellness counseling. Something that was also really amazing to know, and another outcome is that 83% of their unhoused folks that come through their system are either employed or in career training. Another stat that I wasn't able to put on this slide, but I thought was really amazing as well, is that all of their residents were able to save at least 75% of their income, and 93% of them they actually exited debt free, and 83% of their graduates actually purchased a car prior to exiting. These are advocates who have done this work for a really long time, and they have incredible data, and they know what works. And I think my message to the council is that we also got to expand and invest in what works as well. And so I have a commitment to really make sure that we expand what is working in our district. Next slide. The other piece is to expand the motel conversion and voucher program. This is Wood Spring Suite on La Mancha. We're currently housing 78 residents in 71 units right now. 29 units are under rehabilitation, but I think this is a great model. Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela also shared this during her presentation as well. This is something that we've shared with the community that they're in full support of. And I think there are other opportunities in the district to do this as well. And so those are in current conversation and further vetting right now. Next slide. And then I definitely wanted to talk about safe ground with services. I know I put with services because I really wanted to emphasize that back to the community again, because every time I talk about safe ground, I always hear, and rightfully so from our community, does that include services, right? And so what I want to share is that, a site location will be discussed and hopefully determined with the community, because I alone will not be doing this. I think every decision I make is always with the community, and we're going to be doing that in May. I also want to acknowledge that this is not a long-term solution, but why this is important is because it's going to help us stabilize and provide safety for unhoused neighbors now. As I was sharing, I'm putting this map back up here on this PowerPoint slide again, because how unhoused folks are in our communities now. They are our neighbors, and we have to make sure they have a safe place to sleep and a safe place to shelter. But what I've heard from the community loud and clear is that, Councilwoman, if we're going to do this, this is a must. There's got to be 24/7 on-site service. Right? They want to make sure we have a renewal date agreement with the community, right? Are we doing a good job? Are folks being transitioned from the safe ground? They want to see that data, and rightfully so. And then lastly, making sure there's a good neighborhood policy, which I think are all very reasonable asks that I have heard directly from the community. And so I wanted to share that this is something that our district will also be exploring, because Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela did put a challenge out to us. And I'm going to put the challenge back to all my colleagues as well. All 8 council districts needs to do this. Every single district. This is very important, and we have to make sure that it is a collective responsibility. Next slide. I also wanted to share, aside from all of the items that I listed, I want to share that in our district, we also have a lot of affordable housing units, right? District 8 has current affordable housing properties for our extremely low and very low income residents and families. And I want to share this, Mayor, because, affordable housing is why many residents and families are indoors and safe. And I see affordable housing as really a homelessness diversion, right? And so, this has to be part of our long-term strategy as well. And we must do more to expand it. Right now in this chart, it's about 2,115 units. And so that means that we're basically housing around over 6,000 plus of very extremely low and very low income residents in the district. I'm not counting these as my numbers, but I just want to show you that we have done our fair share, and we will continue. We are going to step up, but I want to be able to share that we have affordable housing in our district, and we will continue to do more, and we need more of it. It is one of our solutions for long term, and we must continue to commit to that. Next slide. All right, this is a slide that the mayor probably wants. So I'm here now, yes. So after doing all of the numbers, right, from our Metaview shelter, our hotel motel conversion, our pending site for the Metaview Village, Coral Gables, our senior housing, which is still pending on Florin, further vetting needs to happen for the 10 scatter sites, our expanded motel conversion, and safe ground with services. The estimate is 150, 250, because I don't know. It depends on the location. If we're able to get a bigger site, then there's more, right? It depends on that. So I have a number. It is not Katie's number, but I think this is still a strong number for District 8. Spots is 1,428, and I put a little line on it because it could be going up more. And then I also want to say, aside from that, we also are housing already 6,100 extremely low and very low income residents. The stars that you see are just locations of all the current working pending sites. I didn't have color coordinated, but I just threw some stars on so you can see that is actually spread out throughout our district as well. Next slide. So next steps, we're going to have ongoing community meetings regarding Metaview Village, site visits for motel homes, model homes for with our neighborhood leaders, right? Folks are saying, Councilwoman, are these tiny homes? I was like, yeah, they're tiny. They're 1 bedroom, 1 studio, right? Let's make sure you get a chance to see it, be part of the process to see what it can look and feel. And so we're in the process of doing that. It's really important for me to make sure community is truly at the beginning of this process. I also, Mayor, want to work with you because you're good at finding money, identify strategies and funding to acquire homes for scatter sites in our district. I've heard loud and clear from advocates and youth on the ground and families that we want more of this in the district, and they do it well. And we have our great, there's great outcomes that come from transitional housing. And then we're going to have further meetings in May to discuss and vet potential sites that could be utilized for motel conversion, safe ground, to provide shelter for experiencing homelessness. And then we got to work with city staff on timeline, data, and budget, because everything takes money, right, Council? Right, Mayor? And I want to make sure that, we're not just putting stuff on a piece of paper, but we really have the money and the infrastructure to support this plan. And then all my suggestions will be compiled and our general recommendation for additional consideration for the City Council in June. Next slide. And I want to say thank you. And I also hold community office hours every Thursday from 4 to 5 as well. And so, community members, definitely sign up for that. They have let me know if they can't make it to our community meetings. I'm always available every week. And that is the end of our presentation. Done. Oh, Mayor, you're on mute.
Outstanding presentation, thorough, and it reflective of tremendous amount of work and community work here. So I just want to say thank you. I know I have some questions where I want to break it down a little bit and get a little bit into the details, but do we have a public testimony on item 1, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I have 16 callers.
Okay, are there, let me ask you this, are there callers who have called in separately for item 2?
That's correct.
Okay, so why don't we hear from the public, and then we'll turn it over to our colleagues for questions and comments.
Thank you. May I have my first caller, please? Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Bill Knowlton, and I am the Executive Director of the Mac Road Partnership located in District 8. I'm calling to demonstrate my support for Councilmember Vang's draft plan as we look at solutions not just in our district, but across our region. I am very proud of the work that is being accomplished in District 8. Our district has been front and center on issues of homelessness and poverty, and the community support has been nothing short of amazing. Our community-based organizations, our faith-based churches, and our business partners have been all part of solution-based efforts. I think it's good to remember that when we talk of business partners and business districts, that we are talking about small, diverse family businesses who are our fellow citizens, and we must find a balance as we look towards solutions around homelessness. The Safe Ground concept has been difficult for me to support, but doing nothing is not an option. I will be in support if we have a start date, on-site services 7 days a week, as well as an end date with an option for renewal if the community is in agreement. We must develop a true continuum of care and provide a path forward for the people we are looking to serve. Hospice care is not enough, and we must make bold efforts around mental health, substance abuse, and housing. I would like to say thank you to Councilmember Vang for her partnership around these efforts as well as many more. Councilmember Vang and her staff truly bring a culture of service to the community, and she has been true to her word when she said, "I will be a partner with you." Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good evening. My name is Janine Gaines, and I'm a resident of District 8. I have recently been appointed to the Parks and Community Enrichment Commission, and I also work at the Sacramento Native American Health Center. I'm calling in support of Councilmember Vang's draft homelessness plan to support our unhoused neighbors. First, I just want to thank you so much, Councilmember Vang, for ensuring that the community voice was included through all parts of your proposal. We all know that we have a homeless crisis, and something must be done. We've been talking about this for as long as I can remember. But it's an imperative that we don't only focus on safe housing options, but also supportive wraparound services as well. Homelessness is not a South Sac problem, a downtown problem, or a North Sac problem. It is a citywide crisis, and I urge all districts to do their part. If we want citizens to get on board, especially, we have to show them that the entire community is stepping up and that we aren't asking certain areas to carry the brunt of this issue. So thank you so much for your dedication to this, and I look forward to seeing what comes of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jesse Reese, President, Meadowview Neighborhood Association, and also a resident of District 8. Been a neighborhood activist for well over 40 years in this area. And most of the council know kind of how I feel about the situation that is going on. But nevertheless, I'm calling in to support Councilmember Vang aspiration. And as so many others have said, doing nothing is not an option because we know that they're already here. So what we want to do is make sure council member is successful in her endeavors, and we want to work together. And also, you all are well aware of the fact that, you know, this area have stepped up to the plate. Of course, you know about the Meadowview Village and the women's shelter. And we as a community and as a city, we supposed to rock and roll together. One part of the city is not supposed to rock, and the other part of the city roll. If we want to call ourselves a city, I think we all should share the burden, and we're hopeful that the other councils step up. And again, I will support Councilman Vang and make sure she's successful in her endeavors. Thank you for allowing me this time to speak.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sequita Thompson, and I am a resident of District 8. Also, I am the president of Blessed Child Neighborhood Association. I'm calling in the support of Councilmember Vang's draft homeless plan to support our unhoused neighbors because doing nothing is not an option. But also, I'm helping in the community. We have been walking my Vang, Miss Rose Jackie, and also Miss Jackie Rose, and also Jaime. We've been going out here in the neighborhood over here in Meadowview, giving out flyers, letting the homeless know about that they might be building small housing, the little tiny homes, and also she had presented housing options for our unhoused neighbors, talking about the Meadowview Navigation Center that's across the street over here on Meadowview, and the women's shelter, housing also, and for the youth and the families. So we out here trying to talk to different neighbors, which we walked clearly to their house, talked to the neighbors, gave out flyers, and asked them about helping, like the ones that is homeless that's around here, just sitting around here, trying to get housing for them, giving them resources to different places. And I mean, it's just wonderful working with her. So that is what I want everyone to know about. It's about we help them with the shelters and everything. And she also helped us in the first time in District 8. They have the Martin Luther King, that MLK Caravan March for the first time in South Sacramento, historic. So she's helping the community a lot with the homeless and with the community, and also Freeport. Down there by Freeport, they also have the homeless. So we're getting out, and also I work with...
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Will you make your final comment, please?
Yes, final comment that she's doing a marvelous job. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Les Simmons, and I'm the pastor of South Sacramento Christian Center and also the director for the Simmons Community Center, as well as a lead efforts for reduction of African American childhood death in the Valley High, South Sacramento area. I'm calling in support of Council Member Vang's homelessness draft to end, as she said, have a real goal to eliminate homelessness. I'm calling in support of that. There are a few things that Councilwoman Vang lifted up in her draft proposal. One of them was be impactful, be intentional, be thoughtful, and be equitable. I think with that kind of those kind of goals, those kind of approaches, with the level of intentionality, we can see a different future for Sacramentans. Homelessness was an issue before the pandemic. Addressing the unhoused is an issue now. And if we don't act now, it will be an issue later. Not only am I calling to support the draft plan that Councilmember Vang has lifted up, I'm also calling to urge all districts to step up to the plate in ending homelessness and supporting our unhoused in the community. The mayor has demonstrated leadership in the previous years, leadership now, and I'm sure he's willing to demonstrate a level of leadership, courage in the future. I think we have a moment to really lean in to address homelessness, support the unhoused, and create a better future for all of us. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your hustle. Thank you for your lean in on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Thank you. Good afternoon, City Council members. I'm Barry F. Boyd, and I am a nearly 50-year resident of the city of Sacramento, with almost 45 years here as a resident in District 8 Meadowview community. I'm a board member and community member of the Meadowview Neighborhood Association and a member of the Meadowview Navigation Center Women's Shelter Community Committee, as well as a few other community and citywide organizations, such as the Sacramento Coalition for Digital Inclusion. Inclusion, that is what is just that to include, inclusion is just that to include. In this instance, the entirety of Sacramento needs to be included in the solving of the unhoused cities. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hearing echoing in my phone. Solving the unhoused crisis that Sacramento is fully engulfed with. The brunt to this date has been of the unhoused been pushed squarely, it seems, on District 8 and District 2 to solve the unhoused issues for the entire city. I understand we are assembling our master plan for the entirety of the city to be involved and take on this tremendous responsibility. I am in full support of Councilmember Mai Vang's draft plan in that regard to coming up with a solution for our district here in District 8. I'm calling, one, in support of Councilmember Mai Vang's master plan, two, to ask the entire city, all districts, to step up and to please do their part as well in alleviating the unhoused crisis here in Sacramento.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Will you make your final comment, please?
Certainly. I do look forward in the coming weeks to working with Councilmember Vang in finalizing the homeless shelter issues and safe space for
Thank you for your
district.
comments.
Thank you.
Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Thank you. Hello, my name is David Bain, and I'm a resident of District 8, and I'm the Executive Director of NAMI Sacramento, the local affiliate of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I'm calling in support of Councilmember Vang's draft homelessness plan in support of our unhoused neighbors, because we need to be doing something. Everybody needs to be doing something to solve this crisis. Part of the work I do at NAMI is helping people who live with mental health issues, as well as the family members of those living with mental health issues. And I fully believe that mental health services, on-site supportive services, need to be part of this program. Housing first in of itself is not enough. Becoming homeless can be traumatic, and as we're helping people with their home stability, they need help with their mental stability as well, to make sure they stay in those homes and have the ability to then transition on up to get healthy again and to get safe housing again. Councilmember Vang presented several housing options for our unhoused neighbors today, from the motel hotel suite conversions to transitional scatter housing options for unhoused youth and families. Transitional housing idea is great, and we need to make sure that's incorporated as part of this plan. As a resident of District 8, I'm also calling to urge all council districts to do their part. Every district must step up to this challenge. It's the responsibility of the city of Sacramento for these residents, and homeless folks are coming from every district in the city, and every district needs to be doing their part in providing this service, not just District 8. Councilmember Vang has held community meetings about the master plan and has walked the neighborhood, and I heartily recommend that each district's leader do the same thing in their neighborhoods. I look forward to working with Councilmember Vang in the upcoming weeks to finalize more housing and shelter options in our neighborhood, and I thank her very much for her work in this effort. Thank you all, and with your work in your districts as well.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Larry Lee, and I'm with the Detroit Community Association. We are located in both Districts 8. Member Vang and her draft plan to address homelessness. We've been working with Councilmember Vang on a variety of issues in our district, including on this very topic. As you all may already know, District 8 has the Meadowview Navigation Women's Shelter that Council approved in 2019. Today, there are more projects in the pipeline, including, as mentioned earlier, the Meadowview Village that is just across the street from that shelter. Although we have these resources in place and future plans, it is simply not enough, and I know that there's so much more work to do for this very complex and layered issue. I'm glad to see that the City Council is starting to address this problem on a unified front, and I hope that this continues as we move through this process. Every district must step up to the plate, including District 8. I've known Mike for many years now and know that she has our community's best interest at heart and will do her best to address this issue. I look forward to working with Councilmember Vang in the coming weeks to finalize housing and shelter options in our community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good evening, Mayor Steinberg and council members. My name is Fatima Martinez. I am the president of South Sacramento Heart and a lifelong community member of District 8. I'm calling in support of Councilmember Vang's draft homelessness plan to support our unsheltered neighbors. Because I would like to add one thing to what was already been said previously, which is not doing anything is not an option. And I want to add to that, not in my community. We have to do something, and that's what Councilmember Vang has been doing. She's presented some really good housing options, and from the continuation of the Meadowview Navigation Center to transitional housing, scattered site housing, wraparound services, unsheltered outreach, and I'm confident that these plans are tangible, strength-based, and they utilize a multi-dimensional approach, and to me, that's very important. Councilmember Vang has held meetings, been boots on the ground in our community, and listened to community voice regarding the plans for homelessness and our feedback. New housing options for our unsheltered veterans, youth, and families is what we need in our community. I look forward to the support of the entire council on addressing homelessness, not just in my community, but throughout the whole city, as well as look forward to working closely with Councilmember Bang, providing any support that she needs in upcoming weeks to finalize this housing plan that she has for sheltering options and anything else that makes sense in our community. I just want to second again that doing nothing is not an option anywhere in Sacramento. We need housing, we need tangible options to address homelessness now, and that's what this is.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Will you make your final comment, please?
Thank you, I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, my name is Bridget Alexander. I'm one of the directors of Waking the Village, and I'm in strong support of the continuum of housing proposed by Councilmember Vang. Since 2005, our transitional housing community has had sites in District 8. Our sites are in the neighborhoods surrounding Consumnes River College, where our young parents and their children live as they tackle the work of overcoming homelessness. Many of our youth grew up in District 8, and as neighbors now, they attend college, work in the local businesses, enroll their children in schools, and save 75% of all they earn to prepare for moving into their own apartment. The young parents in our program are able to overcome homelessness because they're given time, a safe home, daily connection to the case managers, live-in staff, and preschool teachers that support forward momentum. They overcome because when small crises erupt, we're there not in days or weeks, but in minutes to ensure things don't spiral back into homelessness. Our graduates call often. They reach out to celebrate new jobs and degrees and apartments. They call when rent shortfalls or broken cars threaten stability, so we can offer small supports to quickly restabilize the family. They call because time allows connections to fully form. Transitional housing has been gutted in the last 10 years due to HUD funding priorities. The shift closed many programs. It also eliminated the essential bridge between shelters and long-term stability. It eliminated daily support and the service-rich environments that accelerate progress and forge meaningful system connection. Funding 10 transitional houses restores some of this essential middle ground. Transitional housing runs essentially the same cost as rapid rehousing, yet greatly deepens services and impact. Over 90% of our youth remain stably housed. Transitional housing will ensure folks at shelters and Safe Ground have the next step housing as they wait for system connections, housing subsidies, and wages to facilitate permanent housing. Transitional housing ensures our pipeline flows rather than funneling folks back into shelters and into the streets. Transitional housing also ensures children experience stability in their critical early years. At Waking the Village, we celebrate Councilmember Vang's vision for a continuum of housing that meets all needs and promises next steps towards long-term stability.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. My name is Margarita Chavez, and I'm a resident of District 8. I've been here in my house here for 24 years, and I'm also I'm the co-chairperson of the Detroit Neighborhood Association, and I'm calling in support of Councilman Mai Vang's draft, for the homeless plan to support unhoused neighbors, because doing nothing is not an option. It's just going to get worse, And she has, Mai Vang has presented several housing options for our unhoused neighbors. Today, from the Meadowview Navigation Center, women's shelter, to transitional housing options for the unhoused youth and families. And I just want to make sure that all the council districts get on board with this, because we have to do it as a team. And that's the only way we're going to do this, because it seems like it's getting worse and worse. I've never seen the homeless situation this bad. But if everybody puts their part, and I believe in my councilman, Mai Vang, and she has come through our neighborhood too and asked other people what some of the ideas, So I just wanted to voice my opinion about that because we all have to do it. All the council districts have to get together and do it as a team. And every district might have a different plan, but, that's their plan, and hopefully it'll work together, for Sacramento. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, my name is Shelly Hubertus. I live in District 4 but work as a provider for transitional age youth experiencing homelessness in District 8. And like everyone else, I'm calling to be in full support of Councilmember Vang's homelessness response plan. I've seen enormous positive response to the work being done in District 4 by Councilman Venezuela, and I've seen it celebrated by the council. It's about time that this crisis has garnered the response it's warranted. Safe grounds, transitional housing, and accessible shelter are a minimum, and they are life-saving interventions for our neighbors experiencing homelessness, as it allows for folks to be able to remove themselves from crisis and work on accessing the supports and services they need in order to stabilize. It's important to remember that our neighbors experiencing homelessness are victims of a system that has historically underserved and criminalized their survival. It's also important to ensure that we are creating services that meet specific needs of nuanced populations. For example, 18 to 24-year-old youth, also called TAY, are not well served in adult programming and rarely access it, which means TAY-specific programs and services are critical. Prevention, adequate case management, and equity and cultural competency need to be centered and funded. Collaborations and community solutions should be centered. These are all things that are owed to our community, not favors. I really celebrate Councilmember Vang in doing that due diligence and seeking community input. The relief I felt as a provider to have safe ground to direct folks to, the promise of triage centers, the greater diversity of shelters, is simultaneously a welcome pressure release and a frustration that it's taken so long to get to a place we should have already been. I'm eternally grateful for the increased collaboration between key agencies, community partners, and others that have already increased inventory and support for our Sacramento youth. But as Mayor Steinberg said, we have the money. Let's start using it. I urge every single council member to not only approve this plan, but to rise to this crisis in their own districts with the same fervor and dedication that we've seen arise from District 4 and District 8. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Jackie Rose, and I'm with the Rose Family Creative Empowerment Center, a nonprofit in District 8. I'm calling in support of Councilmember Vang's draft homelessness plan to support our unhoused neighbors because, as she stated, doing nothing is not an option. Councilmember Vang presented several housing options for our unhoused neighbors today, from the Meadowview Navigation Center Women's Shelter that our agency wholeheartedly supported, to transitional housing options for unhoused youth and families. As a nonprofit in District 8, I'm also calling to urge all council districts to do their part. Every district must step up to the challenge. Councilmember Vang has held community meetings regarding the master plan, and Sequita Thompson and I have walked the neighborhood to speak with neighbors in regards to the new housing options for unhoused veterans, youth, and families. Rose Family Creative Empowerment Center is excited to be part of the Meadowview Village, providing wraparound services and working with other nonprofits. I look forward to working with Councilmember Vang in the next upcoming weeks to finalize more housing and shelter options in our district. As she mentioned, expand what works, expand what works. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. And Mr. Mayor, I have 3 more callers. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Good afternoon. My name is Alexis Sanchez, and I'm a resident of District 4, but I'm calling in my capacity as the Director of Advocacy and Training for the Sacramento LGBT Community Center. At the SAC Center, we're passionate about addressing youth homelessness as it disproportionately affects LGBTQ individuals. I'm calling in support of Councilmember Vang's draft homelessness plan to support our unhoused neighbors because doing nothing is not an option. A safe ground in District 8 ensures that we move from small, often hidden camps to a single site where folks can connect to services, healthcare, and next best housing. Additionally, adding transitional housing ensures that we have bridge housing between the shelters and the capacity to honor a lease. Transitional housing also honors it's often service rich and serves invisible folks experiencing homelessness. I look forward to working with Councilmember Vang in the next upcoming weeks to finalize more housing and shelter options in our district. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, my name is Luisa Lavulo, and I am a resident of District 8. I'm also a board member of TOFA, who focuses on the Pacific Islanders in our city, and I am calling in support of Myrene. I have been a resident of District 8 since I was a little kid, and I'm now raising my children in this district. And I have been working with my Vang since she's come into office, and I've never felt more love for a community from a council member than I do with her. I really support what she's doing with this housing because she is approaching, or I feel like she's approaching it from a standpoint of love, and that's what we really need in our community. Is we need all of our districts and our council members to approach even our unhoused residents from a standpoint of love, because community will not thrive without us loving our members. And so I urge every single council member to have a draft and to step up to the plate and draft out your plans for your unhoused residents as well. And I look forward to those plans. I look forward to seeing how we can all just step up to the plate and do our part.
Thank you for your comments. Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, this is PJ, he, him, and I'm calling in on item 1 alone. I wanted to say I really appreciate the genuine effort made by Councilmember Vang in reaching out to all stakeholders. It is maximally important that unhoused members have a big part in leading what will work for them and how we can best ensure success in them getting housed. I know one of the things I've heard time and again is that they're treated like children and told what will happen to them. If I lose my job, if I lost my home, and I become unhoused, I don't expect to be treated like a child and talked down to. They are our partners. As our local organizations, it is imperative that the vital resources found in local orgs are accessed and referenced to ensure that city staff aren't trying to reinvent the wheel when many of these orgs have been on the ground for years, if not decades, and there is no reason for city staff to learn mistakes again that have already been experienced. Taking advantage of that huge resource is necessary to ensure getting folks housed happens as quickly as possible. I also really appreciate the effort in finding multiple potential locations and getting this off the ground so quickly. This really is a huge effort. We need desperately to address the thousands of unhoused residents at the scale of the problem. And it looks like this is a genuine effort to find locations quickly that will work to get as many folks into triage and hopefully housed as quickly as possible. I look forward to this expanding, becoming more streamlined, and hopefully ensuring that not only do we not have any unhoused, but that we can also ensure that those who may fall into being unhoused can be helped back on their feet quickly, and hopefully helped before they even become unhoused, which would be the ideal situation. Also, in reference to one caller, I gotta say, having an end date isn't really setting the program up for success. It's better to have metrics linked to objectives in order to determine efficacy, and a continued interaction with all stakeholders will ensure a well-run and effective program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Mayor, I have no more callers.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the public for calling in. And I know that there are members of the public, either from District 2 or who want to comment on the District 2 plan. I'm wondering, just let me hear from my colleagues, whether we should hear from Councilmember Laloe first, then take the public testimony, and then open up both districts, if you will, to comment on both at the same time. so that maybe that's a little bit more efficient. Would people think that that's okay? Or Councilmember Vang, would you be okay with that? Or do you want to hear the feedback before we start with Councilmember Laloe?
I'm pretty flexible. I'm open. If my colleagues have comments, I just don't want them to forget it. So that's the piece. I do see Councilman Valenzuela's hand up. I'm open for either way. Whatever is best makes sense. So.
Councilmember Valenzuela, would you be okay with that? Remember your comments. Then I think it'll be a little bit more efficient, and then we can have the council comment on both plans.
Sure, Mayor.
Okay.
I'm happy to wait.
Okay, thank you. I won't forget. Don't you worry, Councilmember Vang.
Okay.
Okay. Councilmember Laloe, why don't you weigh in on what you are thinking about District 2?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm not very sure how familiar my colleagues are with my district, and I'm not sure how familiar that our viewers are with my district. So I'd like to play a quick video, but before that, I really want to, and I don't know if Miss Olinda is still on the line, hopefully my colleague, if you're in contact with her. That's a perfect example of inspiration, hope, not giving up, knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, we can beat somebody up physically, they can heal. But when you take the hope out of an individual, and I think they're done. So again, I'm so excited for Miss Olinda, and what an inspiration. So as she was talking, actually, I was getting inspired that I need to do more just overall. So kudos to Miss Olinda, and thank you so much for talking to us with such inspiration. We did have some technical difficulties, so I'm hoping my team has been able to put things together. So if they're ready, there's a little video I'd like to play just to kind of share what's going on in D2. Oh, here it comes. Something's coming. Thank you. You know, I've watched this video probably 10 times now, and every time I get more angry, more frustrated when I look at this video. Today, I want to discuss a potential strategic plan to address the homelessness in District 2. I want to thank all the District 2 community contributors for the amount of great work they've done in the past. They're continue doing it, and they're going to be doing it in the future. I also want to thank my incredible team, my staff, for working diligently to go out on the field, talking to the unsheltered community, and hearing their stories to make sure that we're getting the information directly from the source. They have reached out to different organizations with the most experience. I've spent hours and hours to get better understanding of what's happening at the ground level. Without them, definitely this presentation would have not been possible. So I'm humbly thankful to every single one of them. To tackle this issue within the city of Sacramento, in particular in District 2, we needed to have a short-term version and a long-term, and to realize that it's not a simple task. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And without a long-term solution, the short-term solutions are merely an extremely expensive Band-Aid on a significant cut. To get our head around such significant issues, we had to have an actual roadmap that was realistic and impactful. So we created a strategic roadmap, strategies, sites, and the next steps. From the slide, as you can see, within our strategy, we got together with community members and had a discussion on what is really our vision. And you can go to the next slide, please. So our vision is very simple. You know, people are experiencing homelessness in all the district and in District 2. And we need to create safe, sustainable environment so they can take in services and be in a safe temporary environment to be able to secure a long-term supportive system that leads to self-sufficiency. And that's the key, to make sure that we provide the services that these individuals can become self-sufficient. Next, please. The issue that we had to kind of look at is what is causing homelessness? You know, what's the result? You look at different datas and they're pointing out to different things, right? Affordable housing is on that, mental illness is on that, substance abuse is on that, PTSD is on that. So based on the issues, we decided to actually go out on the field and talk to individuals and hear their story. And what was so amazing is that every single individual that we talked to had their own personal story and their own personal reason of what has happened. And it was interesting, you know, some individuals, obviously, you know, I've talked to some veterans that are fighting PTSD and they need help. They're actually literally saying, I don't want to be out here, I need help. And now we're looking at families with children that have also become homeless, and they're living literally within campers and RVs. Next slide, please. So what you're seeing and what that video showed you is merely streets away. These are not blocks away. These are not one side of town versus another side. So these pictures and the video that you're looking at, it is literally walking distance. You just go from one street to the next street and you're seeing this. We've been able, and thank God for Bridget Dean and Office of Community Response, to create vouchers for families. But there are so many families out there with children that I think something needs to be done immediately right now to create some kind of a long-term housing for them, especially when we're talking about children. Based on these issues, we decided that we need to get together with the community and talk about our guiding principles. Next slide, please. Listening to the community members, you know, residents, businesses, the unsheltered community, and get feedback from them to make sure we're building a solid foundation regarding this topic. And we kind of broke it down to these topics as far as our guiding principles after, you know, conducting some conversations with our community. Systems focused and data driven. we have programs, but we need to look at these programs to make sure that they are foolproof and they don't have any loopholes. And there are programs that is not a one-off, and we don't take care of this individual continuously. I'll give you a perfect example. This morning, I was at the house of a wonderful individual grandmother to her daughter who's 46. Her daughter has 3 young boys, good-looking, healthy young men. The daughter was in a severe car accident. Based on that car accident, she lost her job, and she's been trying to get some kind of help or assistance from different organizations. And it's been, we'll call you back, give us a few more days. And now it's reached to the point that the grandmother who is creating housing for them in a 900 square feet or even less facility has been given notice by the landlord that if they stay with you any longer, we're going to evict you. So now we're seeing that, certain programs or policies that are not collaborating together, we're running in the danger of someone that's actually has a house becoming homeless. Our second guiding principle is cross-sectoral collaboration and accountability. We have so many organizations that are doing such great jobs, but we need to get the data from them and see how effective they are, and try to see who's doing what and how efficient it is. So we're definitely, that's something that we're looking at, and we're hoping that if we have organizations, we have 10 organizations that are all concentrating on the feeding program. Well, if we minimize this to 5, make it more efficient, can we get a better response off of that? And can we get a more significant impact versus, again, this one-off and putting a check mark next to it? The next one would be health and safety and human rights. As my colleague alluded to, we really need to have a good neighborhood policy. The importance of not leaving the residents and businesses out of this plan policies, and to make sure that we're working together and bringing the residents and businesses and our unsheltered community together at the table to make sure that once we're moving forward, that the whole community is in sync and they're creating a very organic relationship. In District 2, and I'm just going to read this really quick because I think it is very important. District 2 has disproportionately higher number of unhoused people than any other council district. At least that's what I'm seeing from the minimal data that I was able to get. Resource allocation should be reflective of this fact. New policies and systems should be put into place to course correct for the incompatible zoning and land use issues that exist in the district that have contributed to disproportionately higher number of unhoused people, occupied trailers, occupied vehicles, and encampments. Homelessness is not just housing and services. We must examine the regulatory environment and process that prohibits individuals from being eligible for housing and services, and solution providers for being able to advance and deliver these services. Again, I'm going to go to my perfect example from this morning. We had an individual that's been calling left and right, trying to see if they can find some kind of a more temporary shelter for a long term. Luckily, I was able to reach out to Michelle from SHRA this morning. And with a simple call, I think we were able to put something together that was priceless. And I'm hoping that we can do more of that. But the one biggest thing that we haven't really talked about, and I didn't even know about it till we were out on the field and we were talking about it, is the justice involved population. we have many people that struggle to find or retain housing due to their criminal background. And the city must be proactive with that. Ways to work with the county, California Department of Correction and Rehabilitation, and Division of Adult Parole Operation to develop housing alternative for the homeless ex-offenders. Because till probably this last week when we were out on the field, I can tell you I've been I've been privileged to be on this seat for the last probably 110, 120 hours, and we continuously have talked about this issue, but we've never talked about that sector of population that has become homeless. And that's something else that we need to actually add to our vision as we're looking, finding solutions for our shelter. Next, the siting and temporary and permanent housing. And I know this is something that my colleagues, in particular, Mr. Mayor, you're very interested in hearing numbers, because as you've always indicated, show me sites, I'll get you the money. So now here we are. Currently,
not quite that easy, but
well,
close.
In the previous council meetings, I have you actually on as a recording that you said money is not an issue.
It's not as much of an issue. Exactly. I'll own the comment.
Play that again, but I'll take that right now. Not a problem.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
So what we have right now, we have 24 beds as tiny homes for the youth. We have 26 beds as motel vouchers. We have 20 beds as tiny homes, which is confidential. We have 18 beds in scattered sites, transitional homes. What we're looking at as our potential is we're looking at about another 24, possibly 30 tiny homes for the youth. We're looking at a safe ground, Colfax Street, which we think we still need to do some more engaging, that we can create probably 50 to 75 spaces for hopefully tiny homes. And we're looking at a safe parking at Roseville Road, the RT parking lot, which we think can securely provide 100 plus RVs and homes and cars in an environment with 24/7 services and security for the protection of our unsheltered during their stay. Next slide, please. Our current permanent housing that we have, our existing affordable multi-housing, we have roughly 947 units. Our existing public housing between multifamily and single family, we have roughly 182 housing units. Our existing private housing choice vouchers, we have about 824 sites. And these numbers don't include any non-agency and HUD regulated units, which I know that those numbers are significantly, are pretty high as well. What we have right now in our permanent housing within the pipeline, we have roughly about 426 units that are potentially in our pipeline that are dedicated for our district. We must be mindful that if policies we adopt don't address the current needs while mitigating the challenges of the unhoused in our district today, we've done a disservice to all of us, to all the communities. Again, this is a major issue, and you don't see it until you really get out there and have a conversation with these individuals. It's heartbreaking, it's frustrating, and we have to do something today. But at the same time, I want to be very clear that without the support of the county, even at state, with some help through legislation, which I know, Mayor, that's your expertise, and I'm hoping that we can get that done also on top of the unlimited amount of money that you have access to, to make sure that we're equipped to make these things happen. So what are our next steps? We're going to continue looking at proposed sites. We're going to continue having engagement and outreach with our community. We have to create we have to discuss a budget, and we have to discuss policy development and legislation that can help our cause. Again, I want to thank my fantastic team, particularly my Chief of Staff / Strategic Advisor, data-driven Veronica Smith. I want to thank Fiona Ferreras for her time and the pictures and the videos that we were able to post today. But bottom line of it is, we do have an issue, and it cannot be a District 2 and a District 8 issue with the most amount of potential resources or sites available. This is a challenge for all the districts, that we do need to make sure that there's equal engagement from every district in order for us to put a dent into this issue. I thank you very much for your time, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that my colleagues or the callers might have. Thank you.
Councilmember Laloe, thank you for a very thorough presentation as well. A lot to think about and talk about. I appreciate all the time that you and your staff put into bringing this forward. Madam Clerk, how many members of the public do we have to testify on item 2?
I have 2 callers.
Go ahead. Let's hear from the callers, and then we're going to open it up.
Thank you. May I have my first caller, please? Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Yes, this is Lambert Davis of To the Bay and Back Cheesecakes, based in Del Paso Heights, which is contained within inside of District 2. I'm glad to see Mr. City Councilman Laloe is commenting on this. One of his great staff members reached out to me. It would be to your advantage to contact me. I'm very familiar with District 2, but I'm also very aware of how District 2 is gerrymandered. If you study District 2, it covers a lot of parts of Sacramento that are never mentioned in the public, like Rio Linda and El Verda, and Woodlake is always mentioned. And I know why they're mentioned a lot. They get a lot of funding over there. But I was also touched by how you're becoming acquainted with what's really going on in District 2. And so I pray for you at times, because you're coming into a situation where you seem like you're becoming familiar with it as you go. So you need to reach out to people who have been in this district since 1946. And I'm talking about my parents. I always pay respects to my elders. So I look forward to the call. Shout out to your staff member. He knows who he is. I don't want to mention him. This is not a ego vanity thing. I'm serious about getting our family's cheesecake business funded, because we can do a lot of things
This is about
by hiring people.
This is about homelessness. Thank you, Mr. Davis. We appreciate your consistent advocacy, but this is about the homeless plan.
Well, you don't have a public listing, so I'll just say thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next
Thank
caller,
you very
please.
much, sir.
Next caller, please. Welcome to the meeting. You have 2 minutes to address the council.
Hi, this is Teresa McConnell. I'm a resident of District 2. I'm calling in support of our councilman and Sean's work that he's done to try to figure out a plan for this, for the homelessness issue that the entire state is dealing with. I do want to comment on the term that keeps coming up, and this is not about in Sean's proposal, but just an overall general term, equity investment. It really needs to be citywide, countywide. I know Sean is proposing to get funding, whether it's, through the county and the state, it be more of a collaboration. I really think that needs to happen. District 2 has just seen an inequity in burden regarding these type, low income homelessness. And, I really feel that the entire city needs to take a step up. I know this has been reiterated, and I really hope to see that. I do have a concern about the hotel conversions that's happening. I think it's a good idea to go out and speak to the homeless. I have not heard one positive feedback regarding this voucher system for the hotels. There haven't been any follow-up services for these people. They get a couple nights and then they're out. So the policies need to get addressed. I know Sean mentioned that as well. And I really think that we need to figure out a way to follow up with the current situation. And you saw in Sean's video how many homeless encampments are out there. There are a number of homeless that do not want to go into services, do not want to go into shelters. I think there needs to be something to address that. You can't be blinded by that fact. Many do need services, many want services, but there are a good number that don't. And they haven't been there's no displacement right now. They've gotten comfortable, their anchors are in the ground. And
Thank you
this
for
is
your
on our
comments.
street.
Your time is complete. Will you make your final comment, please?
I just hope that this is an actual master plan to find a solution and not just
Thank you for your comments.
photo op.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Mayor, I have no more callers.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm going to.
Mr. Mayor, my apologies. I'm getting numerous texts that I think they can't call in. Is the queue closed right now?
You have constituents who are trying to get in, Councilmember
I'm getting
Lolo?
texts that they're saying that they cannot get in because the queue is blocked or the queue is closed.
That's correct. That's correct. We typically close the queue after the second caller is taken.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam.
Okay. Let's turn it over to council members for comments. I will save my comments till I hear from others. So let's give our colleagues some feedback here. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, District 8, District 2 colleagues, Councilmember Vang, Councilmember Laloe. It's interesting that all us newbies went first. We're like eager to jump in and show all of our plans, but I know how anxious I was before I presented my plans, so I want to appreciate all the work and preparation you did to get ready for yours. And even a video with your logo on it, Sean. I mean, you're just making us all look bad there. But I wanted to commend the continuum approach for both of you. And for Councilmember Vang, I'm super curious about the Meadowview Village project. Is that like a public parcel? Is that a private parcel? Like what? Can you explain more about what's going on there? Because that sounds really, really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's a private parcel, and we're in conversation with them. The city, we're going to try to work with them. We also have a housing developer that's interested in providing all of the costs up front to do this. And it is, they say tiny home, but I see it as, a studio or one bedroom. And that's why Miss Sequita Thompson and I walked that neighborhood because there is a stigma, right, regarding tiny homes and whatnot. And so, but, we're going to make sure that these homes are built in a way that's good quality, that fits well with the neighborhood. And we want to make sure the community is really at the beginning of that process. But it is a private land. Yes.
Okay, that's super exciting opportunity site. I'm really glad that's in there. And excited by it. Yeah, and again, I appreciate the continuum and your number, Councilmember Vang, 1,500. I got a lot of feedback after my presentation. They're like, why did you volunteer to do so many sites in the district? It should be closer to 1,500. So I appreciate the work that goes into identifying that many sites. And I guess just wanted to ask Councilmember Laloy, if there were other sites you were looking at, or, maybe city-owned sites or work in the ground. I respect how much work it's gone into identifying the sites you have, and I've heard from RT staff about the conversations going on, which seem really exciting. So just curious if what the future holds, you think, in terms of scale for
Yeah,
District 2.
definitely. I think we have to look for other sites. This is not a 2 sites, 3 sites, we're done. This is, and again, I really encourage my colleagues to drive through District 2. This is beyond what you could ever imagine. So I wish I could say 2 sites and we're done. No, we need to be on the ground and find more locations. But it's also very, and I'm glad you bring this up because my district is such a intertwine of industrial and residential that has created a lot of planning and zoning issues. So it's hard, but we're definitely looking at it. We're looking at potential parcels that are privately owned or are owned by possibly the school district, that we can create an environment that would be an added value to the community. And that's the big thing, right? So when I'm out there and I'm talking to the residents, as you heard, the one that was able to get through, a lot of promises have been made to District 2 in the past, but nothing has really been carried out. When we have a homeless issue, District 2 feels like they got the most of it, and now they have to deal with it, right? So when we get into this community engagements, there's a certain level of why here? Why are you throwing District 2 in the front? So those conversations, we have to I have to hear their frustration and their concerns, and also explain that if we do not come up with a solution, what we see on our residential streets will just continue to grow. And it's not fair to the residents, it's not fair to the businesses, and it's definitely not fair to our unsheltered community. So slowly but surely, we're trying to move this vehicle forward. But no, this cannot be a one side and you check it off and you say, okay, I'm done. But we also need policies, and we need to have assurance that the work that we're doing, that at the end of the day, we can say we have clear streets. You can come outside. Our unsheltered are feeling safe and comfortable, especially the ones with children. So we still have a lot of work. The deadline of month of June, I love a good challenge, but this is going to call for it, So.
Can I add, Councilwoman Valenzuela, because you asked that number, because your number was really incredible, 2,500. I want to direct this to the mayor, because there's 9 council. Let's just do the math. 8 council, sorry. I'm the 9th. Yes, you're the 9th. Yes, 8 council district, mayor. And I mean, and this is a conversation with all of my colleagues. What number are you looking for in particular? Obviously, and I think that's important to know, right? Because I think there's a goal for all of us to work toward. And so I set the bar really high. I was able to do 1,500, and depending on sites, maybe our numbers will go up. But wanted to ask you and just my colleagues what that target number should be that is expected of every district.
So
if I could, before the mayor, sorry, I just want to finish my comments real quick, and then I'll pitch it back over if that's okay. Just wanted to say, Councilmember Laloy, that I think what you're hearing from your constituents is frankly what we all hear. This is a citywide feeling of like, oh my goodness, this has just been a lot. Like, we're dealing with so much. And I think we've all had to have those conversations. And I really appreciate that you're having those conversations in the districts. It is hard. And there is no site, as I said last week, that nobody's going to someone's gonna have a problem with any site we pick. And so it's just a matter of trying to thread that needle. But this is part of what I appreciate about the citywide plan. And like a lead in to the mayor answering Councilmember Vang's question is like, we're all doing it together. So it's not just District 2, it's like now you've got District 4 and District 8 and District 2, and then we have our colleagues coming up in the future weeks, and hopefully that helps. At least it's been my experience with some folks. It's helped them feel better knowing that, okay, if the other districts do it and we all do it together, then it doesn't feel like it's just us pulling our own weight. But anyways, Mayor, go ahead.
And I completely agree with you on that. I think if once community sees that this is citywide, that I think we can get more engagement. And I hope that we have the same views when the topic of cannabis comes up later on. But that's a whole different topic. Mayor, it's all yours.
Thank you. So, Councilmember Vang, I'm glad you asked the question. And I'm never one to duck a tough question, but I won't now, but I want to be thoughtful about this a little bit, because I purposefully have not put out a specific target yet, because I want to hear from all of you. And I might say, you know, Councilmember Harris has said pretty consistently that, you know, we have an expert staff here and that we need to make sure that we hear from them as well. Well, May the 18th, we plan to hear from the community, the broader community, the advocacy community, I should say, who may have their own ideas on sites. And then on the 25th of May, I want to ask our expert staff, our city housing staff, SHRA, obviously Bridget Dean, to come forward with their ideas about where are appropriate sites that maybe members, you know your districts better than anyone, but maybe you've either not thought of or some opportunity that they see, so that we have we have complete input, or I should say comprehensive input, before we actually draft the resolution. So now let me back up and try to answer your question here. I know I know, because I can read it and feel it, sort of the feeling of tension here. I call it creative tension, right? Is one member putting forward a number that's higher than another member, and what does that mean? Is this a competition? I understand that it is a bit of a competition, but it's not intended as a competition. It's intended to do two things. One, to acknowledge that the number, again, we haven't had a point in time count for several years now, but if you believe that the number is between 8 and 11,000 in the county, and that, you know, 60% of that or more is within the city, well, that gives you a pretty good target number, I think. You know, 5,000, 6,000, and my math may be a little bit off here, depending upon whether it's 8 or 11,000, for us to shoot for citywide. And again, I know some members, we have different philosophical views on some of this, but I've been very clear, and I'm comfortable saying it, that the goal is to help thousands of people, but the goal is also to make sure that we clean up the city. And that we have the ability to say, you know, there are places where you can safely camp, and there are places where you can't. And so the only way we help thousands of people and clean our city is to stretch for a large number. The second principle here that all of you have articulated, and it's indisputable, is that there has to be a fair share. Now, does fair share mean exact numbers in each district? I don't think that that's practical. And it may not be appropriate, given that some uses may be better for some types of land uses and not in others, right? And so this is a work in progress here. The goal is to create a fair share policy. And I tell you, I give big credit to the members who have stepped out and are putting forward big numbers, because that to me is exactly what I know that I'm seeking, and I think the city is seeking. But let's give this process a chance to work here. Let's also get the input from our expert staff. and from the advocates, and then let's look at it all and see if we can get to 5, 6, 7,000 and how it's distributed and make adjustments as we go. But think about the reward here. I just want to say this. Think about the reward for you and for our city to make a comprehensive set of siting decisions at one time, instead of doing them one at a time. That will be enormous progress because it will then enable us, as I said earlier, to match the funding, the operation, and the operator to the already approved sites. The other thing that I'm getting out of these first couple of presentations is that and this is to Councilmember Laloe, while we are going to cast a vote, I hope in June, it may not be the only vote, because the plan itself may evolve as it takes time maybe to vet an RT site that requires the approval of Caltrans and or the Federal Highway Administration. And so the thing I like about this process, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, is that it's primarily council driven and it leads to a comprehensive master plan. And so that's my answer to your question. We want to get to thousands. We want it to be fair share. I don't think it can be or necessarily should be exactly symmetrical by the numbers, but it should represent fair share in a way that we all can vote for when it comes to one vote or a series of votes. Does that help?
Yeah, a little bit, Mayor. Yeah, no, I mean, I look forward to hearing from my colleagues. I think I just want to echo Councilmember Sean Maloli, that I definitely hear community members as I'm on the ground, door knocking and speaking with residents, especially in District 8, where oftentimes residents have felt like Meadowview or South Sacramento, and this is word from the community, our dumping ground, right? And I will always say our community is loving. We will step up. That's why we have 1,500. But for our community to really see that this is collectively a collective responsibility, then every council member will have to commit to a number that we get to that target. I'm just going to put that out there and put that on the record. I think that's really important so that Meadowview residents can see that other districts are also stepping up as well. We have a huge heart here in Meadowview and in South Sacramento, and we're going to continue to do our part, but want to make sure that it's truly a collective effort. So
I think that's what the community rightfully expects.
And Mr. Mayor, if I can add to
Yes.
what my colleague just stated, and I was trying to find a different wordage, but I'm just going to use hers. That is the sentiment with District 2 as well, that District 2 in the past has become somewhat of a dumping ground when there's issues. And when you look at certain numbers of certain industries within District 2, it's hard to argue against them, or it's very hard to say, no, you're not understanding it. So I also want to see if, and I don't know if today is the right day, but I'm going to throw it out there, Mr. Mayor, that we get a commitment also from the city to pay more attention to districts like District 2 and District 8 and commit to certain investment into these districts for a better future for the residents, especially the residents that have always been trying to help the most resilient, and no matter what we have thrown at them in the past years, they've said, no problem, we can take it. But I think it's the time is now. Mm-hmm. Also show these residents that the city is very serious about every district to moving up and creating a better lifestyle for their residents. And I'm hoping that again, going back to your commitment that you can find money, that we can also find some money that we can reinvest in our communities and entice businesses to come to communities so that we can create more jobs and better future for the current residents of the district. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, Councilmember Lowe, and you sort of preview next week's budget. I think it's next week's budget discussion, where we are going to, staff's done a great job of laying out the commitment since the second half of Measure U passed around inclusive economic development and where a lot of those dollars have gone. And that's our mission in this city, to invest in our communities, especially our disadvantaged communities.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Mayor. And I would include our unhoused neighbors as part of that investment too.
Absolutely.
So,
and you'll see that next week. Okay, Councilman Jennings, I know you've had your been patient and had your hand raised.
No, I've enjoyed the conversation, Mayor, and I really have enjoyed the presentation. Council Member Valenzuela, I talked to you and you made your incredible presentation last week, and so I'm going to direct these directly to District 8 and District 2 right now, only because they were the ones that had us in awe today with their incredible presentation. And Council Member Vang, I really compliment you on having Miss Olinda start off the presentation. For those of us who work every single day in trying to help people to better themselves and do this work from the community-based organization, when we're not doing this work as council members, the most important thing for us is not the numbers, but the impact. And when you see Miss Olinda be able to talk to you about what she was able to do by going to a shelter that was very controversial at one point in time and receive services that changed her life around. And now she's someone that is a testimony for all those who are out there who can change their life around. That's the impact that we want. And you can see it in her demeanor and the smile on her face and in her voice. You could tell that she's gotten to a place that's much better than the place that she's been. So I just applaud you for having her started off, because that's the impact all of us want in all of our districts. We want that impact. And I just wanted to congratulate both of you on having a comprehensive plan to address the unhoused. It's not just about numbers, but when you take a look at all the elements that you presented, it was a comprehensive plan that really was well thought out, had great community involvement. Your community involvement with the residents, with the businesses, with the community-based organizations, with the faith-based organizations. You really have made sure to get that involvement from everybody, all the stakeholders in your districts, in order to be able to come up with a plan like you have, and you have buy-in for that plan. And so, and you're not done. You've said, hey, I got more to do in May and more to do in June. I got more to do. And so that just impressed me tremendously. And the video, Councilmember Laloy, the video that you showed me, I get to see that every day because I work in District 2. And so I knew every single area without you having to tell me where those campers are, where those cars are, where those unhoused people are right now. I know the area, I know what's going on because I work there every single day. And so I just impressed with showing us that from the very beginning so we could understand what you're up against. And so I just wanted to kind of let you know that I heard you clearly, expanding on what works, having a culture of service, doing nothing is not an option, the heart and hustle. I love that slogan of District 8, the heart and hustle. It's going to become a slogan for the entire city of Sacramento. But we are putting together a comprehensive response plan to homelessness in the entire city of Sacramento. And I just want to let the residents of Sacramento know, every single district will find a way to participate. Every single district will find a way to get to numbers. And every single district will find a way to have the impact that we all want to have to make Sacramento better from a homeless standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a living standpoint. And so congratulations. I'll talk to each of you individually with more detail on a personal note, but I just want to let you know I was really impressed with your plan, and you set the bar very high. All three of you have set the bar very high for the rest of us, but I'm a competitor. Trust me, I will step up. Thank you, Mayor.
Can't wait. Can't wait, Councilmember Jennings. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor. So I just want to say good job to both of you as well. I think it's really important when you do one of these presentations to council, no matter what the topic is, that you get some feedback from your colleagues. And let me just first say to Katie, Maya, and Sean, it's almost like hazing. We made the three new people go first. I did not do, I've done lots of presentations to the council at this point, but I did not do one in my first year. So good on all three of you council members. That's hard. And also to go first. So you know what? It's a lot of pressure on your staff. I know your staffs have all been just crazy working overtime to pull these things together for you. And you did an amazing job. Council member Vang, I too love the heart and hustle of District 8. And I know this is minor, but I love it so much that you have in your logo a heart with an 8 in it, and that the 8 is an infinity sign, because it so embodies you and your infinite love for District 8 and Sacramento, and your willingness, just like Councilmember Valenzuela, to go to the ends of the earth for the people in your community and the people that you're advocating for. I know it's why you ran, and I'm just really proud of you. Watching you give that presentation, and anybody who knows you well knows how important and significant some of those calls were that came in. Your opponent, several people who opposed Meadowview, leaders of almost every neighborhood association in your district, mental health leaders for the whole region. Those were significant people in your community and in your life that are cheering for you. I hope you heard that, because I heard so many of them say, we want to see our councilwoman be successful. And that is the main ingredient for you, whether we're talking about homelessness or transportation or youth or whatever we're doing. Having that community in your corner, Councilmember Vang, is going to make all the difference in the world. So good on you for investing in them. The most impressive slide you had was the one that showed all that time you've spent talking to your community and listening and creating space for people. And I have to say that Miss Olinda, whew, she's impressive. And the whole time she was talking, I just kept thinking, she's our target. That's the target. And I also was thinking, God bless Lachelle Dozier and SHRA that took the Meadowview shelter and turned it into a win with extraordinary programming and figured out how to pull the Miss Olindas out of the world and put them. Did you see that beautiful apartment space she was sitting in while she was talking to us with her pictures on the wall behind her? Good for her. So I'm very proud of that effort too. And even though this council tussled with it in the end, it was a victory for everyone. But most importantly, for Miss Olinda and the other women that are coming through there and finding the services they need through SHRA and the funding that has been spent there. So that was fantastic. Congratulations, Councilmember Vang. And Councilmember Laloe, the main thing I want you to know is that, like Councilmember Jennings has tried to impress upon you, I too see you, and I see the challenges in District 2. You're my neighbor. So, we share a lot of things, resources. We have to go into each other's districts all the time for stores and shops and restaurants and friends and neighbors and services. And I see the challenges you're facing. And I have said this many times before you got here, and I will continue to say it after. I said it 4 years ago in the race against Mayor Steinberg. I think District 2 has the biggest challenges in the city of Sacramento. I truly do. In part because it was brought into the city out of the county, and the baseline standards were just lower than the rest of us when we even began. No curbs, no gutters, no sidewalks, no streetlights. So much need in District 2. And so I just want you to know, from one council member on this dais, I see it. And I also see how hard you're working. That was a wonderful video. You impressed me. You exceeded my expectations. You had your numbers. You were dialed in on what already exists in your district and your vision for where you want to go. So to both council members, great job. Great job. And I look forward to seeing what everybody else brings forward as well. This is, if nothing else, a really great opportunity to hear from each council member how they see this issue through the lens of their own council district and how that builds upon the other districts and what we as a city can do together. And you're all right, it's going to look different in each district. The problem is different in each district. The solutions and the resources are different in each district. But like Councilmember Jennings, I have a ton of faith that we'll come together and create a really great solution. So thank you for spending so much time and energy on your presentations. It was easy to see that you had worked hard.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilmember Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One, I do also want to thank our colleagues here. In District 2, Councilmember Laloe, I think you and I can learn a lot from each other. Both of us represent districts that have communities that were annexed from the county and adjacent to the industrial areas, and it creates a unique situation. So we both, I think, could benefit from our staff working together on some of these challenges. Councilmember Harris has also an older part of the history of an industrial area, so I think there's a lot that we share in that area that could help us when we have communities that are intermixed in those types of zoning. And also the challenges also with so many folks who are living in their vehicles. So I think great work on that. Want to again thank you for that presentation. Councilmember Vang, also very intrigued on the Meadowview Village. I think that's something that we could learn a lot from. We have a lot of vacant lots in District 6, and I think that's an exciting way of looking at how do we look at private land that we could use. So great work on that. But honestly, the most impactful thing today, and you expressed your support for it, was the Meadowview shelter and Miss Olinda's testimony of what life changing things we can do by taking action and by taking affirmative action here in doing and moving forward. And to your constant point of doing nothing is not an option. And that statement that she made, made me very proud to have voted for the Meadowview shelter. I know it was controversial, but we took an action that made change, and you're taking the leadership to make it also successful. So, great work on that. The fact that you brought in so many people in to do that, it's changing lives already. So thank you, Councilmember Vang and Councilmember Laloe for presentation today. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Councilman Guerra. Is there anybody else? I do think the Meadowview shelter has been mentioned a number of times tonight, and I appreciate Councilmember Vang that, yes, when you were a candidate, you took a hard position that was contrary to the incumbent council member, and remember that. And I do think, we don't want to gloss over actually how difficult, painful, and controversial that was, but here's the lesson. It worked out. It worked out because we did it right. You're right, SHRA has done a great job. We have got a great provider. The community, under your leadership, Councilmember Vang, has rallied to understand it better and to, as I understand it, embrace it. So are we going to learn that lesson now going forward and not have ugly fights or allow stereotypes to win the day when it comes to some of the claims that were made at the time from others, not you, from others, about how damaging this would be to the district and the neighborhood? This is exactly why we have to do this master plan, and we have to agree on sites up front. And that every member, as you've all said, needs to push hard, as you are doing, but continue to push hard, especially with those who may be resistant, because the people who are most resistant are usually the people who are complaining most about how bad the problem of homelessness is on our streets and on our sidewalks. So I don't want to just, be Pollyanna about, well, isn't it great how it all worked out in Meadowview? That was really painful. And yet it worked. And we ought to remember that as we go forward here, because the reward is significant for the people who benefit, but also for our communities. Okay.
Mayor, I would just add to that, those feelings and frustration from the community is absolutely really real. But a big part of it is, I think another reason why it is successful is because, and I would give a shout out to our neighborhood association leaders. They were, and rightfully so, right? We're very hesitant about it because they wanted to see a different form of investment, right? I see investment in our unhoused neighbor as an investment. That's my personal opinion. But I also can empathize where they are coming from. And I think as we move forward, we have to just make sure that we bring everyone along with us. I mean, that is so critical. I don't think I did this alone. I mean, all those folks that call in, neighborhood folks, is because they are a part of the beginning process. We have to make sure that they are there alongside all of us when we're making these decisions, whether they agree or disagree. I think that is what they're asking for, is that transparency and that honesty from the council. And I think if we can deliver that, and we can deliver what we promise, that's going to be important, right? Because I think communities oftentimes just feel like there's these promises and nothing happens, which is why I think if everyone steps up to the plate, we're going to be okay, y'all. We're going to be okay, but everyone has to make sure that we all do our part. So with that, Mayor, just thank you so much for your leadership overall in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Vang. All right. Again, an excellent job by both of you and your staffs, because I think whoever said it was correct, that this is a lot of work, and the preparation showed. We're going to continue to look at the numbers, push on the numbers, and maybe informally work with our staff who have a lot of, our city staff have a lot of things to add and a lot of input here. And we will next week hear from districts 5 and 6. Vice Mayor Chenier and Councilmember Guerra. May 11th is our districts 3 and 7. Councilmembers Harris and Jennings. And on the 18th, District 1, Mayor Pro Tem Ashby. And we'll also hear from the advocates on the 18th of May as well, with some of their citing ideas. All right.
Mr. Mayor, I have a quick question, and this has come up, and I'm posing this to all my colleagues as well. So the question that has come up repeatedly is that if we put all our forces and create and fulfill this master plan, what kind of process are we looking at that to make sure that as we house, let's say, 8, 9, 10,000 people, that we don't have another 10 or 12,000 people moving in to city of Sacramento because the services are here. That has come up, and I'm trying to get some guidance from yourself and some of my colleagues that are, have the background or being as activists, to see how one should answer that question.
Well, first of all, there are no guarantees in life, but I have two responses. Number one, the question that has been asked, or the statement put forward by a couple of our colleagues here, Council Members Vang and Valenzuela, doing nothing is not an option because there's too much suffering. But secondly, the hope lies, in my view, in what we are doing with the help of the state and federal governments to provide rental assistance to thousands of people. We have $31 million, and that's just a start, by the way. As of today, administered by SHRA, we have almost 5,000 Sacramento residents who have applied for rental assistance. And so as we exit COVID, as the eviction moratorium winds down, probably something we're going to talk about as a council at some point, this is our hope, to keep people who are housed and sometimes fragile, to keep them housed and make sure they don't become fragile and unhoused. We have to pay attention. You're absolutely right to the front end, but we are. And we probably need to do even more. Okay. Members, is there anybody else want to make a final comment? Last word?
Is this for council comments off the agenda, Mayor?
Do we have council? Yes, council comments off the agenda. Very
This
good.
is a special meeting, so we have no section for comments for matters not on the agenda.
Oh, I thought it was on the agenda tonight.
Does it relate to homelessness?
Not really.
Well, Madam Clerk, what say you?
This is a special meeting, so we do not have that section, and we do not have a queue open for matters not on the agenda. We only have
Okay.
that section for regular council meetings. This is a special meeting.
Mindy, I'm sorry, City Clerk, I don't think she's asking for comments from the public. I think she's talking about council comments, which doesn't normally have a queue anyway.
Correct. There is council comments. The mayor can take those if he'd like to.
Oh,
okay.
So if I have that discretion and option, please go right ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, Madam Clerk, for my confusing terminology. I wanted to recognize that on last Saturday, I was really honored to participate in a prayer walk for missing and murdered Indigenous women in Sacramento. And something that I've learned through talking to those advocates and families is that Sacramento actually has the second highest number of missing and murdered Indigenous people in California. And I would really like to request the city manager to work with our office and with the advocates and the families locally to talk about bringing an item back to council. This is an issue of data collection as well as an issue of resources so that we understand what's happening in the community. And I'd really like to bring that forward for future discussion.
Okay, Mr. City Manager?
Yep, we'll do. We'll follow up with the councilwoman.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else? Anybody else? Members, nothing else to come before the city council. Thank you all. Thank you to the members of the public. We are adjourned.